Villa Savoye is considered as one of the most iconic buildings of the modern era. It was designed by the Swiss-French architect Le Corbusier, who is known as a god of modern architecture. This villa has attracted an enormous amount of interest from the architectural community, as an example of Le Corbusier's 5 points of modern architecture. Then it became an internationally celebrated landmark. But in order to create his ideal villa, he ended up ignoring most of the Savoy's requests, and he even failed to create a functioning house. In the spring of 1928, Pierre and Eugène Savoye went against the rules of their time and approached Le Corbusier about building a country home for them in Poissy, Paris, and that's after seeing his project in Ville-d'Avray Villa Church. But they had no idea what they were letting themselves in for. They had a beautiful plot of land in a wooded area with a magnificent view of the landscape to the northwest that matched the approach to the plot along the road. So they commissioned him for a summer house with a big living room on the first floor, space for cars, an extra bedroom, a caretaker's lodge, and the possibility to add an extension to the building. But Le Corbusier ended up designing the house without respecting what the Savoye family wanted. And even the designing process was so weird. In September of 1928, a few sketches appeared inspired by his previous work, like the external stair of the Aux Enfants d'Atelier house built in 1922, and the fireplace alcove in La Petite Maison built in 1923, and the gentle curved wall of Villa La Roche-Jeanneret. And in November of 1928, some sketches appeared showing how things were looking so iffy, and Le Corbusier was not even in the office because he was too busy attending events and finishing his book. After the release of his book in 1929 and the beginning of construction of Villa Savoye, the building looked so different from the Villa Savoye we know today. 1929 was the year when Le Corbusier's career took off, so he was traveling a lot, giving lectures, celebrating the release of his book, and dreaming about being the world savior with his disastrous urban planning ideas. Meanwhile, the Savoyes were so irritated and dissatisfied with the outcome of the design and with him not being reachable. So after threatening to cut the cash, they finally caught his attention, and Le Corbusier accepted to make some design changes even after the construction had begun. So in 1930, Corbusier released his book, Volume 2, and this is how Villa Savoye looked. It is a big deal to change the design when the project is being created, and it has produced a wide range of results. The first design would have cost the Savoyes about 800,000 francs, but that was far too much for them, so after some complicated changes to the design, the new price was about 480,000 francs, but the house ended up costing more than $500,000, and this left out several big items, such as the landscaping and the servants' lodge. And even before it was finished in 1931, the Savoyes wrote long letters to Le Corbusier reciting some disastrous technical failings, such as a broken pan and the slat coming out the window in the son's room, the terrace side window of the boudoir, the upper part of the ramp, and the garage leaked so much that they were flooded. The rain made an infernal racket on the window above the washbowl, which stopped them from sleeping in bad weather, and the ceiling was completely soaked. So steps needed to be taken urgently before the painting was finished. And Madame Savoye's letters shows that these issues persisted long after the project was finished. She even threatened that she would take recourse to legal actions. And even the contractor claimed to have warned Le Corbusier that such a design would cause such problems, but he refused to take responsibility, and all these problems resulted in the house feeling cold and damp. In 1935, Madame Savoye wrote again to Le Corbusier saying that it is still raining in the hall and it's still raining in the ramp. The wall of the garage is absolutely soaked. It's still raining in my bathroom, which floods in bad weather as the water comes in through the skylight, and the gardener's wall also wet through. 2 years later, she sent him another letter full of frustration, saying in it that after innumerable demands, you have finally accepted that this house which you built in 1929 is uninhabitable. So please render it inhabitable immediately, and I sincerely hope that we will not take recourse to legal actions. The final cost of the house was about 815,000 francs, nearly 70% above the estimate that the family had accepted, and this included the cost of repairing the house and the lodge every autumn until 1937. And despite these repairs, the roof continued to leak, rain on the skylight interrupted sleep, and the house felt cold and damp, and the excessive size of the windows made it hard to keep warm. Because of the constant changes to the design even after the construction had begun, Villa Savoye reveals some awkward placed spaces and objects. The redesign has 2 toilets placed immediately above where the wash basin must have been, which led to the existence of this draining pipe in the middle of the hall because it would have been too expensive and time-consuming to shift the draining pipe. An isolated stove in the large sun lounge, and that solid construction on the bathroom floor which could have been used as a large shelf if it wasn't shaped like that. So we can all agree that the Villa Savoye was uninhabitable, and it was a mistake to use such a house as a prototype, and allowing your clients to suffer the most as a result of your experiments is disgusting and psychopathic. And despite all that, someone for some reason decided that this building should be famous, and in 1964 it was listed as a public building, and since then it has undergone 3 series of restorations, and Villa Savoye is now a preferred destination for architects from all over the world for inspiration for their new project.